108. The hopeless Edo. After Deng Ai conquered Shuhan, Emperor Liu Shan remained in Chengdu. However, when Zhong Hui and Jiang Wei launched their rebellion, Sima Zhao decided that it was unsafe to leave Liu Shan there. He sent his trusted aide Jiao Chong to escort Liu Shan to Luoyang. Liu Shan had always been a weak and incompetent ruler. During Zhuge Liang's lifetime, he completely relied on Zhuge Liang to manage all political and military affairs, never daring to make decisions on his own. After Zhuge Liang's death, ministers like Jiang Wan, Fei Yi, and Jiang Wei continued to support him, but he was no longer as cautious as he had been under Zhuge Liang's leadership. When Jiang Wan and Fei Yi also passed away, the eunuch Huang Hao gained power, further corrupting Shu Han's government. By the time Shu Han fell, Jiang Wei had been killed, and most ministers were either dead or had fled. The only officials who accompanied Liu Shan to Luoyang were two lower-ranking officials, He Zhang and Liu Tong. Liu Shan was clueless and did not know how to interact with people, relying entirely on He Zhang's advice. Normally, Liu Shan never paid much attention to He Zhang, but at this moment, he finally realized that He Zhang was a loyal and trustworthy person. When Liu Shan arrived in Luoyang, Sima Zhao, using Emperor Cao Huan's name, granted him the title Duke of Anli, Duke of Peace and Happiness. He also bestowed noble titles upon Liu Shan's sons and more than 50 former Shu officials, appearing to treat them with generosity. However, Sima Zhao's true intent was to win the hearts of the Shu people and stabilize his rule over the former Shu territories. But Liu Shan, being dim-witted, actually saw this as a great favor. The infamous banquet. One day, Sima Zhao hosted a grand banquet, inviting Liu Shan and the former Shu officials to attend. To stir their emotions, he even arranged for a performance of Shu Han's traditional music and dances. As the performance began, many former Shu officials were reminded of their lost kingdom. They were so overcome with grief that they nearly broke into tears. Yet, in stark contrast, Liu Shan grinned happily and watched with great enjoyment, as if he were still in his own palace. Observing this, Sima Zhao whispered to Jiao Chong after the banquet, "Liu Shan is so utterly heartless that even if Zhuge Liang were alive today, he wouldn't have been able to keep Shu Han from falling, let alone Jiang Wei." Happily forgetting Shu. A few days later, during a private meeting, Sima Zhao asked Liu Shan, "Do you still miss Shu?" Liu Shan smiled cheerfully and replied, "I'm quite happy here, I don't miss Shu at all." From this incident, the phrase, "LBUSSH, happily forgetting Shu," became a famous idiom, describing someone who quickly forgets their past and indulges in their current comforts. Hearing this, He Zhang, who was present, was deeply embarrassed. When they returned home, He Zhang sternly advised Liu Shan, "Your Highness, you should never have answered like that." Liu Shan asked in confusion, "Then what should I have said?" He Zhang explained, "If the Prince of Jin, Sima Zhao, asks you again, you should tearfully say, 'My ancestors' tombs are in Shu, and my heart aches for them. Not a single day passes without thinking of my homeland.' If you say this, maybe Sima Zhao will let us return." Liu Shan nodded in agreement, saying, "You're right. I'll remember that." Later, as He Zhang predicted, Sima Zhao again asked Liu Shan, "We have treated you well here. Do you still miss Shu?" Recalling He Zhang's words, Liu Shan repeated the response word for word, trying to fake sorrow. However, he was unable to squeeze out any tears, so he simply closed his eyes to appear sad. Sima Zhao, watching Liu Shan's performance, immediately saw through the act and laughed. "That sounds like something He Zhang told you to say, doesn't it?" Caught off guard, Liu Shan foolishly opened his eyes and blurted out, "Yes, yes. He Zhang taught me that." Hearing this, Sima Zhao burst into laughter, and his attendants could not help but laugh out loud as well. At that moment, Sima Zhao realized that Liu Shan was truly an incompetent fool, posing no threat whatsoever. Since he had no ambition or ability, Sima Zhao saw no need to kill him. The hopeless Edo. Liu Shan's cowardice and incompetence became legendary in Chinese history. He was often compared to Edo, a childhood name for him, symbolizing someone so weak and useless that they could never be helped, no matter how much effort was put into them. Thus, the phrase, "Fu bu q de with Macron do," the Edo who could not be lifted, became an idiom used to describe someone hopelessly weak, incompetent, and beyond help. 109. Wang Jun's tower ships destroy eastern Wu. After Sima Zhao conquered Shuhan, he died before he could launch an attack on eastern Wu. His son, Sima Yang, deposed the nominal emperor of Wei, Cao Huan, and declared himself emperor of the Jin dynasty, thus founding the Western Jin dynasty, 265 to 316 CE, with its capital in Luoyang. By the time the Jin dynasty was established, the last remaining kingdom of the Three Kingdoms period, Eastern Wu, was already in decline. The final emperor of Wu, Sun Hao, was infamous for his cruelty. He spent lavishly on palaces and indulged in extravagant pleasures, while using horrific punishments, such as skinning people alive and gouging out their eyes, to oppress the people. Both officials and commoners alike hated him deeply. The Jin dynasty launches an invasion. In 279 CE, some ministers in Jin believed the time was right to destroy Eastern Wu. Emperor Sima Yang, Jin Wudi, agreed and ordered a massive military campaign, deploying over 200,000 troops in multiple offensives against Jiankang, modern-day Nanjing, Jiangsu, the capital of Eastern Wu. General Du Yu, as Grand General of the South, led his troops through the middle route toward Jiangling. General Wang Hun, as General of the East, led another army toward Hengjiang, modern-day Anhui. Governor of Izhou, Wang Jun, commanded a powerful navy, sailing down the Yangtze River toward Eastern Wu. Wang Jun's tower ships. Wang Jun was a highly capable general who had long prepared for the conquest of Wu. He had secretly constructed a fleet of large warships in Izhou, modern-day Sichuan. These warships, known as tower ships, were massive, each capable of carrying over 2,000 soldiers. They were built with fortifications and lookout towers, allowing warriors to observe in all directions during battle. Although the construction was kept secret, over time, wooden shavings and debris from the shipbuilding process floated downstream into Wu-controlled waters. A Wu governor named Wu Yang noticed this and quickly reported to Sun Hao. These wood chips must be from the Jin army's shipbuilding efforts. If they are building ships upstream, they are preparing for an invasion. We must fortify our defenses immediately. However, Sun Hao arrogantly dismissed the warning, saying, "What's there to fear? If I don't attack them, why would they dare attack me?" Wu Yang, knowing that Wu's defenses were weak, took action on his own. He ordered the construction of massive wooden barriers across key points on the Yangtze River, reinforcing them with giant iron chains and embedding underwater iron spikes as hidden obstacles to block Jin's fleet. Wang Jun breaks Wu's defenses. As the war began, both Du Yu's middle route forces and Wang Hun's eastern forces won consecutive victories. However, Wang Jun's naval forces were stalled at Zigui, unable to pass due to the iron chains and spikes blocking the river. But Wang Jun had a clever plan. First, he ordered his men to build large wooden rafts filled with straw dummies dressed in armor, holding weapons. Then, skilled swimmers guided these rafts downstream. When the rafts hit the hidden iron spikes, the spikes became embedded in the rafts, effectively sweeping them away. Next, Wang Jun dealt with the massive iron chains stretched across the river. He had enormous torches soaked in oil mounted onto rafts and set them ablaze. These fire rafts drifted toward the iron chains, burning them apart over time. With both the underwater spikes and river barriers destroyed, Wang Jun's navy could now advance freely. The tower ships sailed swiftly down the Yangtze River, entering Wu territory and soon joining Du Yu's army. Meanwhile, Du Yu's land forces had captured Jiangling. Some generals suggested pausing to regroup before advancing further, but Du Yu refused, saying, "Our momentum is like splitting bamboo. Once the first few sections break, the rest will split effortlessly." This phrase later became the famous Chinese idiom, "Sha-yu po zhu," meaning unstoppable momentum. Du Yu insisted on pressing forward, supporting Wang Jun's navy in attacking Jiankang, the capital of Wu. The fall of Eastern Wu. By now, Wang Hun's army had also reached the outskirts of Jiankang. Desperate, Sun Hao sent his Prime Minister Zhong Ti with 30,000 troops to fight back. However, Zhong Ti's army was completely annihilated by the advancing Jin forces. Meanwhile, Wang Jun's tower ships continued their advance down the river. Seeing the massive fleet filling the Yangtze, General Zhong Xiong led 10,000 Wu troops in an attempt to resist. But when they saw the countless banners of Jin's forces covering the sky, they surrendered without a fight. At this moment, a Wu general named Dao Jun went to see Sun Hao. Sun Hao asked about the situation of the Jin navy, and Dao Jun, who was completely clueless, boasted, "I know the fleet from Izhou well. Their ships are small and weak. Give me 20,000 men and the largest warships, and I guarantee victory." Excited by this, Sun Hao immediately promoted him to Grand General, granting him command of the navy. Dao Jun confidently ordered his troops to prepare for battle the next morning. However, his soldiers knew the truth. Jin's forces were overwhelming, and they didn't want to die in a hopeless fight. That very night, all of them deserted. By the time Wang Jun's fleet reached Jiankang, there was no resistance left. The entire river, stretching 100 miles, was filled with Jin warships. Wang Jun led 80,000 soldiers ashore, and with the thunderous sound of war drums, they stormed into Jiankang. The end of the Three Kingdoms era. At this point, Sun Hao had no way out. He removed his imperial robes, tied his hands behind his back, and, along with his remaining officials, surrendered to Wang Jun. Thus, the Three Kingdoms era officially ended. From the time Cao Pi declared himself Emperor of Wei, 220 CE, the three-way struggle between Wei, Shu, and Wu had lasted nearly 60 years. Now, in 280 CE, the Jin dynasty had successfully unified China. Legacy of the Three Kingdoms. The Three Kingdoms period produced countless fascinating stories, and many legends were passed down through generations. In the Ming dynasty, the writer Luo Guanzhong compiled historical records and folk tales to create the famous novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. In this masterpiece, he artistically portrayed historical figures such as Cao Cao, Zhuge Liang, and Guan Yu, turning their stories into legendary tales. Romance of the Three Kingdoms remains one of the greatest literary classics of China.